you're eating food that you normally don't eat, specifically chocolate and cake and all these wonderful things. And my recommendation is don't go overboard with it. It's there. It's wonderful. It's an expression of love and appreciation for the holidays, but try not to go overboard.
Yeah, I think that balance is the key. I mean, actually, we had the exact same thing happening this week. And even some patients who know that I'm gluten-free, even though they eat gluten, they made me special gluten-free cookies. Right. Like, It is really absolutely adorable the way that people express their thanks at this time of year, and totally appreciate every single piece of it. And I do eat some of everything because that is my way of saying thanks. But it's important to find that balance. You know, just because you've got 10 cookies, I may not eat 10 cookies. I try to stay with 1 or maybe 2 if they're like small, right? But it's something that you kind of have to be aware of, because it's pretty easy to sit down and next thing you know, that nice little special box of chocolates is gone.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it doesn't feel good afterwards anyway, as good as it tastes going down. So I try to make sure I'm not denying myself, because, you know, that isn't necessarily the balance I'm looking for, but just really a little bit of everything, and save space for some of those other things.
The other thing that's really interesting is, at this time of year, people don't think about it's very dry and dehydrating. And then what do we do at our Christmas parties and the parties that we go to? We usually have a beverage, or an adult beverage or two. My recommendation is to drink a 8-ounce glass of water for every drink that you have, and hopefully that helps to keep you hydrated. In addition to, aren't there essential oils that really help with that, Wandalee?
Well, there are some things that can help with, you know, that digestive piece as well. Like peppermint is a really good one. And, you know, so, you know, diffusing some peppermint, frankincense, of course, is good as an antioxidant for cellular regeneration. So when you're being a little bit more difficult on your cells, things like frankincense are really good things to add in there. So those are a couple of go-tos. And of course, lavender is just calming on the nervous system, and it blends things together really well. So my top 3, when people say, where should I start? Lavender, frankincense, and peppermint. Between those 3, you're going to cover all kinds of things, from muscle relaxing to stomach cleaning to calming and sleep to cellular regeneration. It really just, those are the big 3.
Absolutely.
So I would definitely put those out and about. Yeah.
When we talk also about this time of year and stress and holiday cheer, usually you don't hear them one and the same, but they are. Immune boost, which would really be helpful. At this time of year, the sun is too low in the sky for us to make any vitamin D, at least in the northern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere is starting to come into summer, but we cannot make any vitamin D. And when do people get sick? People get sick during the winter months. So immune boost, sunshine, or vitamin D product, and stress rebalancer. Big 3 right now this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got all of them on the go. I used to get sick every single change of season. So it was usually that fall, and then maybe a little bit in the spring, but every fall for years before I knew any better about managing that. Vitamin D is a pivotal thing. They believe, you know, looking at the data, that our vitamin D is barely, and maybe not even, good enough in the summer. So it's no shock that as soon as the days start getting shorter, come late September, October, November, December, people just go right into the flu season, or, you know, start getting colds. We blame it on going back to school. We blame it on Christmas stress, but really our vitamin D levels are tanking.
Yep.
And there's no way to get it other than supplementing this time of year.
Absolutely. And no matter, and this is what Noah and I talk about in our lectures, no matter where our peoples are from, we all were out in the fields working. And if you were to take a vitamin D cross section of what it was at that time, I am sure it was somewhere 60 to 80 in that range, because we were out in the sun for 8-10 hours a day working in the fields. Now today, none of us work in the fields. Very few of us work in the fields. We're all inside during the day. So this is across all cultures, across all countries. Our vitamin D levels have tanked even during the summer.
Well, because when we are out, we're covered.
We're covered.
Because we're protecting ourselves from the sun's more harmful ray portions, but we lose the good parts too. So we've either got slatherings of sunscreen, even good sunscreens, or we've got clothes on that are keeping us from burning. And the same token, we're losing our vitamin D because of it.
Absolutely. And Stress Rebalancer is a phenomenal product that we offer. We brought it to market, and it contains 2 unbelievable adaptogens, rhodiola and what was the other one? It just slipped out of my mind.
Sorry, you're frozen. Ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha. Thank you. Rhodiola and ashwagandha. And they are adaptogens. So if you have too much, it kind of levels it out. And if you have too little, it kind of brings it up. And there are no products out on the market that, to our knowledge, that have what we have in our Stress Rebalancer. But those are 2 of the big ones in that product.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those sort of multi-purpose products that hits all those components of stress. It supports the nervous system and the things that get depleted when our emotional stresses are high. And then it supports the adrenal system, which is important chemically and emotionally as well as physically. And then it gives us a little bit of those extra things that we need, like 5-hydroxytryptophan to help the brain out as well.
The last thing that I wanted to hit home on in this, and going back to the dehydrating aspect of winter, is number one, you want to keep moisture in, so you want to use healthy lotions to keep your hands from dehydrating and your skin from dehydrating. And number 2, which we start doing in our house in October, is we use a humidifier in all of our sleeping areas. It's really important that it not be, so if you have forced hot air, it's going to dehydrate you. If you have a radiator heat, it's going to dehydrate you. Any kind of heat source where you're keeping it artificially at 70 degrees or 68, it's really going to dehydrate you. So having a humidifier, you don't have to get big fancy ones. You can get ones that just put water into the air, and that'll work.
Yeah, and for us too, on our air exchange system in the house, we have a switch between summer and winter, because obviously you need to change those settings a little bit. So make sure you're keeping up with the season and what your house and your body needs during those seasons. Yeah,
absolutely.